Hey guys, I imagine you clicked this video because you're probably interested in a whole foods plant-based diet or just going vegan in general. And so I wanted to make this video to give you guys some tips and tricks that I've sort of learned through my experience, and hopefully it'll help you in your transition into this sort of lifestyle. So without further ado, let's get to it. If you're not familiar with me, my name is Bruno. At the time of this recording, I'm actually a psych student here at CSUN. And I've been vegan for about a year and 7 months now, last March to be specific. In any case, during that time I had to do a lot of research and reading to really understand practical ways to implement this lifestyle, right? So I'll start with the first tip, which is, excuse me. First of all, just keep it simple, right? Something that could happen that a lot of people may run into is when they think about going vegan, it's like, oh, it must be very complicated. What am I gonna eat? Where am I supposed to get these certain foods from? But you don't really have to think like that. Just keep it simple and do one thing at a time. And so what I suggest, just make the foods you like, but instead of using animal products in them, just leave them out. So if you're making a spaghetti, instead of a meat sauce, it'll be just a marinara sauce. If it's a burrito, instead of a chicken burrito, it'll be like a veggie burrito, and you can add some guacamole in there, anything else you like, right? Just keep it as simple as possible. Eat the same foods, just without the animal products. And if you really are struggling to come up with ideas for something to eat, there's plenty of resources online that you can look up to. There's hundreds of recipes you can watch. And I highly recommend the Physicians Committees for Responsible Medicine and their app, the 21-Day Vegan Kickstart. It's an app that I used, not initially, but I found it after some time of being vegan. And the recipes there are really good, and they also align sort of with the principle that I follow, which is whole food plant-based nutrition. So I highly recommend that. And another good resource is nutritionfacts.org. I know they're a good resource for any information that you might be looking for when it comes to whole food plant-based eating and lifestyle. But they also have a page of recipes that you can try out, and it's really good. I highly recommend those two sources. So on that note of eating the same food without the animal products, the second tip I recommend is just eat more, because when it comes to plant foods, they're not as calorically dense as the animal foods. So if you have 100 grams of meat versus 100 grams of, let's say, broccoli, the calorie difference is going to be way on the side of, it's the side of the meat. So much more calories in that same amount of weight of meat versus the same amount of weight in broccoli. So you're going to have to eat more. That's kind of the tougher obstacle that comes with this diet. Mainly because it's not intuitive, right? So the plant foods are more filling because of the fiber content and the water content that they have, but they don't have the same caloric density. So just don't be afraid to eat more. I mean, unless you're trying to lose weight, I guess you don't have to worry about this as much, but eventually you will want to keep track of your calories so that you can at least see, because you don't want to be in a deficit more than I think 300 or 500 calories a day. But in any case, I just highly recommend sticking to whole foods and just, eat when you're hungry. Just listen to your body. I wouldn't really worry more than that. So the third tip actually is to remember to eat a variety of plant foods. So I know there's a vegan food pyramid somewhere. I'll post it on the screen right now. But you want to get your whole grains, fruits and veg, obviously. You want to get some beans or some sort of form of legumes, whether that be tofu or tempeh. And then of course your nuts and seeds, specifically chia and flax seeds, because they're high in your omega-3, which is your polyunsaturated fat. That's for your brain health. Also the nuts, because they're sort of more calorically dense, so you can have just a handful, 1 ounce. That's all you really need a day, and that's more than enough calories and nutrients that you get from them. And if you want an easy guide to this, I highly recommend downloading the app The Daily Dozen from Dr. Michael Greger. But it's a good guide to see different food groups that you want to be getting. because you want to be having your greens every day. I highly recommend dark leafy green vegetables every day, as often as you can. If you can with every meal, that's even great, more than me. And the best part about the app is that it'll give you the portion sizes for what constitutes a serving of fruit, vegetables, and so on. So it's not a guessing game. And it's a lot easier than you think to check off those boxes, because a certain meal, say one of my oatmeals that I posted on this on my YouTube before, it probably has 7 or 8 boxes checked off just from that. That's like almost half the boxes or something along those lines. I'll probably show an image of that right now so to be more accurate. I'm just sort of thinking off the top of my head. So last but definitely not least, I'm going to talk about supplementation. And now I know most people are probably like, oh, your diet must be inherently flawed, you gotta take supplements. Nah, man, this is for everyone. I think this is a tip that even omnivores should follow, because I'm just talking about B12 and vitamin D, which is actually a hormone, but we'll get to that. So with B12, it used to be something we used to get from bacteria. It's not necessarily sourced from animals. I know animal products have them, but the animals themselves are not creating that. They're just technically the middlemen. As a matter of fact, these animals that we eat are given B12 supplements. So just cut out the middleman and just take the B12 supplement yourself. I take a weekly dose of B12, it's about 2,500 micrograms. And I do cyanocobalamin, because there's two types you can buy, methylcobalamin and cyanocobalamin. The only reason I choose the cyanocobalamin is because it's cheaper, but both work. Sometimes there's like absorption problems with the methylcobalamin, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. So just take once a week a dietary supplement for your health, because as research has shown, I think it's like 4 out of 10 US people are deficient in B12. And unless you're gonna say 40% of the population is vegan, this is not inherently a vegan problem, because definitely vegans don't constitute 40% of the US population. Now with vitamin D, it's a little trickier. I know it has to do a little bit with the latitude, so if you're between the Tropic of Capricorn and Cancer, I forget which one's which, but if you're within that band and you spend some time outside, I wouldn't really worry about vitamin D too much. But otherwise, most people should be taking vitamin D supplements. If you're going plant-based, you want to take a D2 supplement, because those are plant-sourced, whereas D3 is typically from an animal source. So just keep that in mind. And I believe the daily dosage is about 2,500 IUs, which is international units. Just definitely those are the only 2 supplements I really recommend. Otherwise, everything else should be acquired through your diet. And if you're following like the Daily Dozen and eating whole food plant-based, you have no concerns on your nutrients. And if you're someone who's into athletic performance, definitely just focus more on the protein-rich foods such as the beans, peas, nuts, seeds, and all that jazz. Like definitely those should be more consistent in your diet, and that's what I try to follow too, because I'm trying to go a little bigger. But yeah, I guess that's kind of all the tips. I wanted to keep it really simple and short for you guys. I really like sharing advice to people, because I really believe this is a lifestyle that everyone could sustain and also, you know, maintain. But remember, it's not all or nothing. As much as I would love everyone in the world to just go vegan overnight, I know not everyone's like me. I happen to do it myself, but that's because I had 3 months of, you know, reading up on it, watching videos, watching recipes, and then I sort of realized as all this evidence was accumulating that this was the decision for me, so I just did it cold turkey. That's not always possible. Sometimes the body reacts to too much fiber, and you know, yada yada, XYZ reasons we can keep going on. But at the end of the day, just, you know, try something as simple as changing 1 meal a day. So whether it be your breakfast, instead of having a, you know, plant or an animal-based breakfast, have a plant-based breakfast. Maybe the next day you try a plant-based lunch, and so on and so forth. And then slowly but surely you just start removing the animal products from your plate, and you'll reap the benefits. It doesn't take that much. If you want to reap the full benefits of going plant-based, especially whole food plant-based, you definitely are going to have to eventually just cut out the animal products completely. You don't want a trace of it, to be quite honest, you know. So just do the best you can. I completely endorse any change that favors a plant-based lifestyle, so do your best. And if you have any other tips or want to talk more advice, I'm always here. You can always leave a comment down below, message me on Facebook. I'm always sharing recipes. I want to be more consistent at videos, but I guess I kind of get choked up and I'm a little nervous guy in front of the camera. I don't know why. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video, I guess. Take care, buddy.
Man, y'all just don't know about this life I'm living right now, man. I'm just fucking loving life, bro. You just gotta love that life, bro. Mwah. Love that shit. Love that shit. Love that shit.